Hey everyone, Devin here with Backcountry Exposure. Let's talk about the three most popular shelters from Big Agnes. We've got the Fly Creek UL2, the ever popular Copper Spur HV UL2, and the Tiger Wall UL1. All ultralight focused shelters from Big Agnes that all serve slightly different purposes for the designs that they are and what they accomplish in not only the price point but also the weights that they come in. And they each have their individual quirks to them that make them a good shelter but also maybe not a great shelter. So I'm going to start first. Let me not trip myself here. I'm going to start first with the Fly Creek UL2. This is a tent that I picked up earlier this year. I've had a couple nights in it, and I got to be honest, this is my least favorite of the three shelters that you can get here from Big Agnes. The just structure of this tent in general is not that great. The issue that I've had with this is it collapses on itself really easy, and from what I understand from what a friend of mine that has this shelter has said about it, is it doesn't really have the side pullouts that you get on the side that create better structure in higher winds with this tent. So yes, this thing comes in as a two-person shelter, even though it would be tight with two people, at just over 2 pounds. It's like 2 pounds 4 ounces, which is impressive for a two-person shelter. So it'll be very roomy for one person, but it just doesn't have the structure aspect to it that you really want out of a high performance ultralight tent, and that is the big downside to this. But you save so much weight with this shelter because you've got a single door entry as opposed to like over here with the Copper Spur where you've got 2 doors and 2 vestibules. You're just limited in the amount of space in your vestibule as well, but that single door really does save you a lot of weight in this particular tent. Now, one of the things that is kind of annoying about it, I feel like I'm just saying all the negative things about this tent because for the most part, I actually do really enjoy it. But with so much no-see mesh on it, you do end up with a lot of splashback into this tent, and you also end up with a lot of dirt and dust and stuff blowing into the tent because you don't have like the higher fabric sidewalls like you can see here on the Copper Spur as well as the Tiger Wall. So that fabric is actually going to protect and provide a little bit more protection from splashback when you've got a heavy rain coming in at an angle and it's bouncing dirt and stuff up into the tent. So it'll help keep you dry and protected that way, but also spin drift when you get wind that is blowing underneath the rainfly, that then dirt blows through the no-see mesh into the tent. That is a big problem with this particular shelter, but super lightweight, and this new solution dye fabric is really cool. Very environmentally focused, saves a lot of water in the production process. That's an amazing aspect to the Fly Creek UL. And this has been a popular shelter for a lot of people for many years, and there's a reason for that because it's simple, it's easy to set up, and it's kind of a no-brainer for a lot of people to keep something very lightweight and also have the ease of a semi-freestanding tent versus a non-freestanding tent that can be a little bit more finicky and be roughly about the same weight as well. So moving on to the Copper Spur, this thing is my favorite of these three shelters, and it's just fully featured. But the big downside to the Copper Spur is going to be the weight and the bulk of it. But even as a two-person shelter, it comes in at just over 3 pounds as a packed weight, which is very, very impressive. Now, the things that I really do like about this tent have to do with how the inside is put together. You've got a ton of different storage pockets, where here on the Fly Creek, you've literally got a pocket here on the side, a pocket on that side, and then one here up in the top, and then you don't really have anything else storage-wise, and I don't like these triangle-shaped pockets in the sides of the tents. The Copper Spur is just a dream that really focused on putting together something that makes sense for 2 people to be in this tent. You can get gear off of the ground. Now, the Copper Spur is also a shelter that has been in the Big Agnes line for a long time, and they just keep improving it, making it better and better. And this awning that is here on the door, I've got one side of the door rolled back here, and then I'm just illustrating this really cool awning that you've got. That, I mean, if you are just sitting on the ground, I'm not actually going to sit on the ground and get all dirty, but I've got some little bit of protection here, which is really neat. And it's not that much additional weight with an extra zipper on the side here, but it just makes it more like fully featured. I don't even have to have the awning out, and I can roll the door back all the way, and I've got toggles on both sides here. So I can open up the door and have this out, great ventilation. Do the same thing on the other side. So this 2-person model, 2 doors, 2 vestibules, is going to provide 2 awnings as well. So with 2 people in here, it's a palace. One of the things that I also really enjoy about the Big Agnes tents is you've got dual zipper sliders. So it's nice to be able to pull this door back. So basically I just pull that through that little loop that's on the inside, and then I don't have to mess with the rollback aspect of the door to be able to pull the door back and get into stuff and quickly take care of anything that I'm doing inside of the tent. It's a big, huge open door. Really love that. You've got a nice peak height, and this is a full freestanding tent. So how it's different from the other two, and this is where that weight aspect really comes into play, is you've just got more pole structure to it. It's just a really well put together product from Big Agnes. So last on the list here is the Wall UL1. This is the 1-person version, so it's a single door side entry, and that's how it's different from the Fly Creek. Now the reason I have the fly off of the Fly Creek is to show you the structure aspect to it, but with the Wall UL1, 1 door, and then you've got a pull out that keeps the rain fly away from the body of the tent here on the backside of the tent, but it's a very spacious 1-person tent. You can also get this in a 2 and a 3-person. You can get the Copper Spur in a 1, 2, 3, or 4-person size, and the Fly Creek is a 1 or 2-person. So with the Wall UL1, how it's different in the structure versus the Copper Spur and the Fly Creek is that it is a semi-freestanding tent, because you do have to stake out the 2 foot end corners to be able to pull it and get it tight for a nice tight pitch. But you've got this like brow pole that comes perpendicular to the length of the tent that provides a bit more structure in heavier winds and elements that you would have snow, heavy rain, that kind of thing. But it's not quite as strong as the Copper Spur is with its full structure. The nice thing about this tent is with the guy lines, they actually attach. You've got a piece of Velcro that goes here, and they actually attach to the body of the shelter. So you don't have as much of that collapsing aspect that happens with the Fly Creek over there that I've experienced, where it doesn't matter. Like the fly sheet doesn't attach to the body, and when you guy it out, what's the point? It doesn't serve a purpose in any back and forth movement. If you've got wind coming straight over the pole, sure, it's going to be strong, but if it's pushing against, it's just going to collapse that thing and be a problem. The side entry of the tent is a lot easier to get into and out of. You don't have to swing your feet all the way around like you do on the Fly Creek, so that's nice. It's just awesome. And it has that extra bit of fabric right here against the door so that you don't get that splashback and stuff that comes in. It's just a great shelter. For the $350 to $450 price range, these shelters are amazing and absolutely worth checking out. No, they're not the greatest for every single situation. Non-freestanding tents that save you a bit more weight. I mean, this Copper Spur is probably not going to be the tent of choice for thru hikers or people that are very weight conscious, but if you are going out with 2 people or even yourself and you've got a lot of gear and you're hanging out, doing a lot of like base camp kind of backpacking, this thing is awesome. And that's what I love about this particular shelter is I can take it with my kids and with somebody else, my wife or whoever I'm with. I've got plenty of space, and it's not overly heavy at 3 pounds, which is not a crazy amount of weight. So there's my breakdown of the Fly Creek UL2 solution dye, the Copper Spur HV UL2, and the Wall UL1. fantastic tents. Like I said, the three most popular shelters from Big Agnes that all serve slightly different purposes, and they all fit within different styles of backpacking, and they're all great shelters. Maybe minus the Fly Creek, not my favorite. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching today. Leave your comments down in the comments section and tell me which of these three shelters you would choose for yourself as well. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. Hope you guys have an awesome day. We will catch you on the next one. See you later.